I'll repeat that last part.
Oh, I saw a birthday cake, so I wasn't.
Oh yeah, somebody's birthday.
Yeah, somebody says happy birthday, granddad.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's me. I just kept that picture in honor of my dad, who's a major fan of yours, Miss Patton. So,
oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
thank you. That's very kind. Is it his birthday today?
It wasn't. He passed recently, and so that's. But you know, since I knew I was coming on, that was Thank you.
My father passed recently as well. I understand.
Yeah, it can be tricky. So, yeah, but it's
they're with us. They're with us more than you realize now. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, thank you for that.
Of course.
Okay, Mr. Coleman, are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Let's get started. Mr. Coleman, can you please introduce our very, very special guest that is joining Chicago Virtual Charter School on today? Please introduce our guest.
Yeah. So joining us today is a special young lady that happens to be on the Mount Rushmore of all-time greats in cinema. Legendary actress, the greatest student in the proud 91-year history and legacy of the USC School of Film, and also the greatest actress. It's a lot of actresses of Los Angeles, but this young lady is the greatest actress in that proud legacy, heritage, and tradition. So without further ado, please, let's give a big, big, warm South Side of Chicago welcome to First Ballot Hall of Fame actress and humanitarian, the legendary Paula Patton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coleman. That is very kind.
No,
well, I just want to say thank you. I mean, Chicago is one of my favorite cities, and my best friends from Chicago, the kindest people I've ever met. So I'm really, really, really grateful to be here today. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you know it.
What is your favorite before we go into the Q&A and everything? And thank you so much for everyone on the call. And then we have a few others that'll be joining the call shortly. You know, with the classes ending and everything right now. So we'll get a few more, quite a few more joining us during the duration of the Q&A. What is your favorite restaurant in Chicago?
Oh gosh.
Out of all of them.
That's tough. I have to tell you, I haven't been there in a few years. Oh gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one. You put me on the spot with that one. My memory for those kinds of things aren't good. I just remember the food was very good. It was. I was working on a TV show there, and it was really hard not to keep, keep the weight off. It was coming. Because I love the food.
Oh man, first of all, how have you and your family held up in the midst of these challenging times right now, and yes. In our country's history, and going back to mid-March, once everything first started shutting down nationwide with the COVID-19 pandemic, how have you and your family navigated through everything?
With hope and with gratitude, to be honest with you. There's challenges with all of this, but we have to know that behind everything, there's a gift, and you'll find it. Sometimes it's not always apparent right away, but it comes. And I think we need to stay in that vibration of positivity to survive these times, and to know that sometimes these things have to happen. They do have to happen for greatness to come, and so with a lot of, what I've been doing with my son, and I really wanted to share here is meditation, to be honest with you, and prayer and faith, how important those things are, to never lose that, never lose touch. And I hope it's okay for me to say this, but never lose touch with God. God is always with you.
Absolutely. You're on the West Coast now.
Yeah.
And I know certain states have different rules and regulations as far as reopening the economy, so to speak, and reopening restaurants buildings and retail and that type of thing. How is everything in your neck of the woods?
Interesting. I mean, it's a slow reopening. I guess we will just have to wait and see what happens. I'm not sure. My favorite thing to say a lot is, I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes, you know? But things are opening slowly. How about there in Chicago?
I think things are as well challenging. Ms. Chapman can speak on that.
Yeah, things are, you know, this whole, everything that's happening, the pandemic, American crisis with other things going on, you know, but right now our kids are just resilient. And I would like to think that, you know, we're just going to keep going on and we're going to keep doing what we do. And things are going to turn around. And we're going to keep the positive energy going and keep it going. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Mr. Coleman.
Oh no, I was saying we're gonna pass the baton for the first Q&A. We have a legendary actor in the making, a young man who just wrapped up his first year at the prestigious Howard University, and he's currently in the cinema arts program. Mr. Benjamin Chapman. Right there alongside Sister Chapman. So I know he's a huge, has always been a huge fan of yours, and he has a couple of critically acclaimed questions ready to ask.
I love the way you phrase things, Mr. Coleman. I love it. It's awesome. Okay, yes.
All right. Oh my goodness. Right. So as I mentioned before, I'm Benjamin Chapman. I am a rising sophomore at the illustrious Howard University in Washington, D.C., and I am an acting major. And as far as you, I look up to you as a person in the industry, and I think that what you're doing in the industry is phenomenal. So I just wanted to applaud you for that. One of my favorite films is actually Baggage Claim. I find myself watching that movie over and over again. And so I just wanted to know your experience as far as working with the people, as far as Baggage Claim went, and how, you know, it's just like being on set.
Yeah. Oh, I loved making that movie. That was so fun. Gosh, I don't know. You know, it was just the whole experience. It was a lot of play. And I think that's what you have to bring whenever you go to your work, is not to take it too seriously. I mean, take it seriously in the preparation, but then you want to enjoy yourself like you're playing outside, playing make-believe with your friends, you know? And so, I don't know, it's just a lot of laughter and a lot of joy. That was such a pleasure to make. It was fun. Yeah, it was a great one.
So having I know you went to USC for film school.
Yes.
And I heard and I also read that you were inspired by Spike Lee, a movie, Do the Right Thing.
Sure was.
And, you know, that movie means a lot to me because that was the very first movie that my husband and I had gone on our date with. So before he was even thought of, that was the first movie we had gone to see on my birthday, July 7, 1989. And I remember, so tell me what did that movie do for you?
I had never seen anything like it. It changed my life. I was in high school and I had a dream of being an actress, but at the time, the opportunities for a Black actress were really few. You couldn't imagine. And the voice of Black people in cinema was not what it is today, you know? And for Spike Lee to come out and express himself that way and express our story, I had never seen anything like it. I was blown away. I just was like, it gave me hope, and it gave me excitement and pride, and it moved me to want to tell stories that helped open people's hearts and minds.
Wow. And your big break came through. I know you played in Hitch with Will Smith.
Yes.
You know, yeah. Who don't love Will Smith?
I don't know. He's the kindest man. So humble, and
really?
I remember when I worked on that, he was so sweet and kind to me, but more importantly is how he treated all of your background, the extra actors, he sat with all of them and talked with them. And that's what's so important to remember, is that nobody is better than the next person. In film, there's a hierarchy. There truly is. There's assistants, there's the PAs, there's the director, and it can feel, the order of power can be very extreme, you know? But if you fall into that, you're gonna find yourself in trouble. Instead of seeing that we are all equal and all equally important. And that's what's beautiful about Will. He just touches into what's wonderful about being human, is that we're all connected, you know? And that's one of the things, when I looked at some of the questions that Mr. Coleman sent me, it's so important not to be jealous in this world, right?
Yeah.
If you get to encounter Will Smith, know that you're that much closer to achieving your dreams. Doesn't mean that he's separate than you, that you have, oh, well, I'll never get there. That means you're that much closer to that greatness. That's coming for you. And that your time is your time, and you'll know when that comes. So never worry about trying to race down or chase down a train. And because when it's your train, you're gonna walk on nice and smooth and right on time. It's gonna be for you. And then when that happens, you wanna make sure you're gonna treat everybody else the same. Right? You're going to look and know that in that crowd of extras doesn't matter if it's going to be the next door or not. They're human beings.
Yeah.
They're human beings that are given of their time. And it's so important for us to work from our heart space with love. And that's what Will does.
Oh, wow.
Tremendous human.
That is really great to hear that, because I think of him that way. Of course, I've never met him, but he just appears to be such a humble, down-to-earth guy. So I have two more questions, and I'm gonna throw it back to Mr. Coleman. I wanna know, what role have you played that is really more in alignment with your personality?
Well, I think, it's funny, all of them have elements of my personality, but I think that the role I played in Precious as Miss Rain, the teacher, especially at this time in my life, especially since I've been a school teacher to my son for the past few months, and just being a mother makes you a teacher. I think that I loved that role. I loved teaching those young girls. I love the research I got to do, to be in the classroom in New York and learn how this teacher taught, and know, and I really, my hat's off to all of you, because you guys are the true heroes. Really, and all your students need to know that. My mom was a school teacher for 32 years in the public school system. And to give of yourself to others to try to help create their greatness is a special thing. So anyways, to be able to play that role, that moved my heart and soul. And I would like to think that spirit of Miss Rain is something that is most me.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I did read that your mom was a teacher. Your dad's a lawyer.
He was, yeah. He was a lawyer, an attorney, and so you chose to go into the acting field. Wow. Yeah, okay, but it's kind of funny. They're both kind of actors, though, in a weird way, because teachers have to perform on stage in front of people, And my dad, he was a criminal defense attorney, so I would go in the summer and watch him in the court, and he'd grandstand and Your Honor and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and they were both kind of performers. I came to realize, so they influenced me in that way, even though they weren't in the business.
Oh, wow.
They were performers.
Okay, my last. And I don't know if you're comfortable even telling this, but I heard that you have a story about Meghan Markle. That you have a story.
Oh.
Is that true? Is that true? Do you have a story about her?
It's not that juicy, but Meghan Markle, I was getting married, and Meghan was working at a stationery store. I was getting my invitations done at the time. I don't know if they still do this, but it was, you wanted to still have like handwritten invitation, and my handwriting is nothing, it's embarrassing. Let's just put it that way. It's embarrassing, okay? My son has better handwriting than I do. And she had impeccable handwriting. She was super kind. Anyway, she came to my house, she helped me, and she had this beautiful penmanship, and she told me she was aspiring to be an actress at the time. And super sweet, kind human. So I'm so happy for her. I mean, it's amazing. Look at it.
Wow.
Amazing. So that's my little story about Meghan. Yeah.
That is
I saw her later in life. Later in life, we were both doing interviews for something at a hotel, and she came by. She said, "Paula, it's Meghan." I'm like, "Hi, how you doing?" So yeah. Yeah.
That is the cutest. That's the cutest. Okay, I'll throw the baton back to you, Mr. Coleman.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're a legendary actress. That goes without saying. But getting to that point, you know, is not easy. And what can you share with the students on the call? What were some of the top obstacles? Because Hollywood and performing arts is obviously extremely ultra competitive. What were some of your top obstacles, and how did you fight through those obstacles to become the legendary actress that you are today?
Oh gosh, well, thank you. It is a challenging business, and but I'll say this: I think that the greatest obstacle that I'm still dealing with is myself. You know, I think that loving yourself and knowing your own self-worth is something that you have to master, because if you're going to be looking outside for approval and acceptance, then you're going to have a hard time. It's going to be a lot of suffering, you know? And a lot of times when you enter this business, you do it because you're missing some kind of love in your life, right? You want people to love you, truly. At least it was for me, and I'm sure some of your students can understand. But not until you learn to love yourself and be okay with who you are you going to be able to move forward, right? And at least with happiness and with joy. And so what I really would love to encourage everybody is to understand how you have to get the role, right? So they have to like you, but then truly you have to be okay with yourself and like yourself, and how important it is to be authentic. When you are honest and authentic yourself, don't try to be anybody else, but that moment when your train comes, it's gonna be right? So just, you have to have faith. So even when they are saying no, 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 you know, yes, 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 right? If you're looking out there for someone else to tell you, you're going to be in trouble, you know? And also to say that even when the disappointment comes, don't reach out for outside substances, you know, because that's very prevalent in our business, right? But that will not get you anywhere. It might provide a moment of relief, right? But it will do you damage, because in the end, you start thinking that something outside yourself will be what's going to help you succeed. And that's not true. Everything is already inside of you. You are already great, and you need to know that. And that's why I would say, I wish I knew it then, but I know it more now. Truly, you know, when they say to meditate, it can be a scary thing, right? But to meditate is to know oneself. And there's simple, beautiful ones, and I'll send them to you, Stan, if you want to share. But to start your day in meditation, even if it's for 3 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, right? To get to know yourself, to know what you're aligned with, and you're aligned with God, right? Then you can go out in the world and do whatever. You'll start to understand that everything's here. You can manifest your dreams. And when you know it, so don't even deal in the sphere of what if they don't like me. Feel like they already do. Know you're already great, right? The work is on the inside. You can talk about, there's going to be all kinds of challenges, all kinds of obstacles. But when you're right within, you can achieve anything. And when you really know, don't try to say, I want it to be like this. It has to be by this age. It has to look like this. Just go, however you want it, God. I know I'm going to find success, however it's going to be. And I'm going to walk in that. When I walk into every audition, I'm going to walk knowing that I'm great, whether I'm right for this role or not, because you're not always going to be right for the role, but you could still give a wonderful audition, but just not be what they're looking for. It's not your train. That was my favorite thing I've ever learned. And I learned it too late in life. So I suffered a lot, right? Why not now? Why not now? I want it. Running, doing all kinds of tricks, try to get on a train. It's not my train. No. When it comes, it's for you, all of us. And then you're going to know, and you're going to walk on with pride, feel so good. And you're going to know, because it's going to be you, because that's what's going to win. And you're going to see, I mean, so much has changed, and it's going to continue, especially after what's happening right now. I know it, right? Hollywood's way different than when I was in it. I mean, And I mean, I remember a time, many times, that they would say, we already have a Black person in that film, so they're not even gonna look at you. We already got one, right? So we're in a new day, right? So everybody, but here's the thing, but in your mind, know that you're welcome, right? This is what I mean to say. In your mind, manifest that, because it starts inside. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And be happy for everybody else's success. Because when you are not happy for other people's success, it gets in the way of yours. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go with your friend to an audition and they win, be thankful and be happy for them. Know that if they sat next to you, your time is coming soon.
Oh, amen. Amen. And touching upon that, what were, like, going back to when you were a junior or a senior in high school and you're transitioning to college, I believe you started off at Cal Berkeley before going to USC, acclaimed film school. What were some of the, how did you prepare? How did you prepare for an upcoming audition or upcoming role? What was your preparation process, and how did that translate into your college life?
Well, I didn't really start to professionally audition until after college, right? But I would say with auditioning, never think that, especially at the beginning, I mean, really, no, always, right? Over prepare. I mean, and you should know those lines backwards and forwards. When people say, I mean, listen, some people are great at reading off a script, but I don't think so. I think most people, if you know those lines backwards and forwards, and you just do it over and over and over and over again. And then when you get to the audition, let it go. Let it go and feel whatever feels right in the moment, right? And that's when God guides you. You prepare, and then you let God guide you, right? So I would say over prepare for every single audition. Know it backwards, forwards, know the other people's lines. I mean, you just know it. And then throw it away when you walk in the room and be present with the people. And when I say be present, don't be thinking how it's gonna be after or what are they thinking about, but just join with them, because when you look in that other person's eyes and you know that you're connected with them, don't think of yourself as separate from them. We're all connected. So if you take a moment to take a deep breath and look at that casting agent or casting director and see the connection between the two of you. Don't see the separation. Don't see him or her as thinking you're bad or thinking you're good, or you're connected. It's a circle, right? So your preparation gets you to be at a place where you can let go and have a true interaction with somebody.
Wow.
Greatness will come from that.
You hear that, Benjamin?
You hear that, Benjamin?
Yeah, I do.
And he has another question for you, Ms. Patton.
Oh, yeah, so that actually kind of ties into my next question. So one of the things that we do talk about in my acting class is just living in the moment. And so my question for you is, when you're auditioning or even just, you know, playing on the TV show or in the movie, do you ever find yourself going off script and just living in the moment?
Yes, I think that those are actually the best moments. You want to do honor to a script. That's why it's really important to know your lines backwards and forwards. So you're not like, well, I don't know my lines, so here, do you like it like this? No, know that piece of work that you have. But then because you know it so well, then you can do what you feel when you're acting. Now, I'm gonna tell you, not everybody's gonna let you do it. At the beginning, especially, they're gonna tell you maybe you do the lines, but you know what? You'll always get a chance to do a take your way. And then they might go, maybe not at that moment even will they see the magic, but maybe when they're in the editing room, they're gonna look at it and go, actually, the way he did it was kind of better. You never know, right? So I say it's always worth a risk to do it your way, but make sure you're super prepared with the text at hand. And then, yes, I mean, I learned that from Denzel Washington. He's the greatest at this. I mean, he knows material backwards and forwards, but you can't expect him to know it. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. And that was the dream. And that's when you really are in the moment with somebody, because it's just like, you have no idea what he's going to say next. but you both know where your characters have been, where they're going, right? You've done the work so that you can play in that moment. So I guess that's the thing. Be super prepared and then absolutely enjoy being off book, because I think that in the improv is where the magic is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have really been with one of the greatest, and I think that is Denzel Washington and Deja Vu. Denzel Washington. Oh my God. How was it acting and in the scenes with the Denzel Washington?
Just, you know, exactly what you'd imagine and more. I mean, it's he's a genius, and to see him work, it was like, especially because I was a new actress. I'd only done one other movie. I'd done Idlewild and I did a small role in Hitch, and then I got to work with him, and just by being able to witness it was remarkable. And just to watch him, what I liken it to is he just goes down this rabbit hole. They yells action, and you're in a new reality. And if you're with him, you get to join, right? So he'd take me. I mean, you'd end the scene, you didn't even know what had just happened, because he's so magnificent. He's so there. I don't know how else to explain it. It's very special, very powerful. He's a true gift. And he's one of the hardest workers that you'll ever meet, too. He is that dedicated to what he's doing. He's looking at every element of it. See, like, that's the thing, is that to know that it's not just your role. You have to love all of it, and then all the people in it, and see that you're one part of a big process, of a collaborative art, you know? And so he cares about all the little details. And that's why you always love his movies, because you go, I don't even know what it's about, but it's a Denzel movie. I'll just go, it's gonna be great. I don't care. Because you trust him.
Yes.
Because he puts that kind of care into it.
Yes.
And you want to do that with everything you do as best as you can, when you can.
That's why I said I probably would have just stood there and been starstruck, like, I know that's
I'll tell you a funny story. I've told this story before. It was so funny, but it was our first scene working together, or maybe first or second, but it was the first big one. And it was Deja Vu, and I don't know if you know the storyline, but it's like they go back in past and such. And he says to me, "Do you want to run lines?" And I said, "Sure, I'd love to run lines." And I think my line was supposed to be like, "Well, how'd you know that the keys were there?" And he goes, "Because I can tell the future." And I was like, that's so funny, Denzel. Clearly that was not what was written. That's supposed to be a secret. And I was like, "Do you want to start over?" You know? And so we started the lines again, and he goes, "Because I can see into the future." And I go, he goes, no, I could say that. And I went, oh. And I realized that he could say that, because what if he was joking? What if I'm like, my response back to him could be like, "Oh, you know what? If you're going to be sarcastic, then forget about it." Or whatever, you know, he could say that. And he got me ready to work with him, which was that I have no idea. He could make the scene that you thought was meant to be serious. He could make it funny, but he could make it work. He would say the thing you wouldn't expect. So he was basically saying to me, get ready. Get ready, listen, and you never know what's coming next.
Yeah.
That was fun. Kept me on my toes.
I'm sure. Okay, Mr. Coleman.
Oh yeah. So I mean, just over the years, you're arguably the most versatile actress in Hollywood. Your depth in character, you know, just your balance and your depth in character has always been off the charts. And your artistic integrity is why millions of youth and just throughout the world admire you. How important is it to maintain and never compromise your artistic integrity? And has there been any movie roles or TV roles that you've just flat out turned down based on your artistic integrity?
Thank you, first of all. Listen, you make compromises all the time in this business, and you need to, okay? Sometimes it's okay to keep your mind open. So I'm not perfect. I wish I could say I always do exactly, be like, I only do it like this, but I definitely have a strong sense in my gut of what feels good and doesn't feel good, right? which I think is really important for all of you to really tune into, which is, does it feel right? This doesn't feel right. And don't ever force yourself to go to an audition when you're like, this doesn't feel right. You know, like, I just don't feel it. It'd be better not to do it if you really are honest. Not that you're scared, right? Not that you're nervous, and you got to differentiate. And I think that's why meditation can be so good. Yeah, but yes, I've said no to things that people probably would have said, what are you doing? And you know, I can say now, there have been moments in my life where I felt differently, but no regrets, because at the end of the day, you know, what's most important is that you feel good inside, you know, and that you don't want to compromise yourself if you don't have to. So I don't know if that answers that. I just don't want it to say that by any means I've like done it all perfectly, because I haven't. It's still a journey, do you know? It's still a journey for me. But yes, I think it's important to have your integrity and trust your gut.
Yeah.
Amen.
The no's are more important than the yeses, someone told me once, which was really, really smart. And so a lot of people will, you know, even your family, what, you're not going to do that? What are you talking about? You're like, no, that doesn't feel right for me. So that's the part that, again, knowing for yourself. You need to know you so well, then you can really enjoy this journey. Right? And when you go outside, looking for outside to tell you, to give you that love, you're going to have a lot of pain. Trust me. I've done that. I've done that too.
You are wearing many, many hats. So I know you're a vocalist. I know you're a songwriter. I know you direct, you produce, you act. Seeing as though your son comes from both parents that are very, very creative in the arts, what side do you think he's going to lean more towards?
That's so interesting. You know, he might just do it all, but he loves to sing. He really loves to sing. And he loves to write his own songs. You know, he's just always making up songs. But then just recently, he's gotten on this whole making movie kick. He's been doing these little things with his iPad. So, I mean, I don't know about the acting thing. I don't know if that moves him as much. But he loves the filmmaking, putting together these little stories, and the music, that's got his heart.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Coleman, go ahead.
I don't know. How, especially for a high schooler or someone in college, or a student in college, just starting up in the business, how important is researching, you know, talent agencies and talent managers that are only invested in his or her best interest, instead, because you hear so many stories all the time, especially with you, you know, certain agencies, you know, try to take advantage of the lack of intellectual maturity in that area. So how important is it to do your due diligence for a high schooler that's transitioning into college or in their early 20s, that you know, the importance of researching reputable talent agencies?
Yeah, well, I think it's very important. And then again, it's tough because you need somebody to help you get those auditions, right? So you want to do diligence, and then you really want to trust your instinct when you meet that person. Don't be desperate. I guess that's the other thing, is to really be patient in your life. When you can, you know, you'll look back when you've made the wrong decisions and go, I already knew that person was not on the up and up, right? You can feel it. But sometimes they're saying those things that make you, but you're like, I need it now. I want it now. If you just take a moment to take a breath and know that time is always on your side, you'll make the right decision because your gut tells you it, right? That you're gonna feel it. You can feel it. I'm a feel person. Yes, you can do diligence, but you can still find yourself in interesting places. But I think also that the energy you give out is what you get back. If you act with integrity, you will find that you are going to meet others with integrity. Do you see? You give, you are going to get back. If you're only concerned with yourself too, you might find yourself in that place. I think all I can say is the only thing we can control is ourselves. So if we work on that, shape that, craft that, build that light, then what you're going to attract is goodness. And yes, you're going to have some speed bumps, 100%. But when that's radiating from a good and righteous place, I promise you, great things will come.
Yeah, I figure I asked that because we've seen too many the new edition stories, the TLC stories, you know, and that sort of thing. So I know, especially for
I think that's be mindful of your business. Be mindful of your business. I think as artists, money sometimes is like a scary thing, right? And we don't want to deal with it. And it's like one more headache. Or sometimes we're dealing with the feeling that we don't truly feel like we deserve it, because a lot of people are coming from a lot of pain that got them there. And then they find success, but they don't even think that they deserve it, right? So that's why I'm saying that it's so important to cultivate that self-love, because then you're going to know you deserve it and you're going to watch after it well, right? But again, I'm telling you this, all of this stuff is to do the work. Your greatest work is the work you do on the inside for yourself. That will correct the wrongs outside.
So I'm a romance buff. Like, I love anything romance. Anything that'll make me cry, I love it. So quite naturally, I love Jump in the Broom. Like, God. Let me tell you, Paula, I have watched Jump in the Broom. I know at least. See, he's saying 1,000 times. I can't get enough of it. I cannot get enough of it. Love, love, love the movie. But I want to flip it just a little bit, because I want to talk about the movie Precious. And, you know, because I'm such a romantic person, I was like, I'm going to go see it. When I tell you, that movie was so inspiring. It was so much depth to that movie. So much. How was it working? I mean, all of you all, your characters, it seemed like you all were just being you, like, you know, you, Monique, I don't even want to start naming because I don't want to miss anybody, but you all, the collaboration was phenomenal. How was it on that set?
Well, I mean, all of the credit goes to Lee Daniels. He really created an environment for us to do that. You know, he made it like, I had been doing a lot of more studio movies. And then when I worked with him, it was like working in a studio film again, but on the best way. Do you know that you got to, there is this air of creativity and the love for the art. It wasn't about the bottom line or how successful the movie was, but just about wanting to create art. And you never want to lose that joy. And I would say that to everybody there too, don't get caught up with success and how big something is, right? Because the true success is in what you're doing, loving what you're doing. And we all loved it. And it was a rich experience because of that. And because he gave us the freedom to be off book, you know, and to do what we felt in the moment. So those classroom scenes, some of it's, you know, in the script, but some of it was what was improv. And he would just set up all these circumstances so that we could do our best. So it was special.
What was the meaning behind the no makeup? What was the meaning behind that?
Because really, I mean, I don't know how much time do you have to get ready to do those things. I think it was to keep it as real as possible. And I don't think Miss Rain would wear makeup, you know. And I think that he wanted to. I just think he wanted to really get the truth of the matter with everybody. And I think sometimes when you put that extra stuff on, you can't see what else is going on. And there's a vulnerability in being barefaced. You know?
Yeah.
I think he wanted to portray.
Okay. And I want you to just talk a little bit
about beauty. I want to say there's a beauty in imperfection that I would really just don't try to perfect anything. Like, you're already perfect, you know? And know that that's what, and when you're feeling good I'm sorry to just harp on this, but when your insides feel good, everything else radiates. So you don't have to worry about all that, be healthy and be good to yourself in that way. But especially with women, I think that there's this unrealistic idea of perfection on the outside. And as much as this is a visual medium, I promise you, it's really the energy you radiate that's far more important. And you'll get lost and you'll lose yourself in trying to perfect the outer. Then you're going to lose the beauty on the inside, You know,
Okay.
what makes you great on the inside when you spend too much time in that category, in that area, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that being said, love your imperfections, find beauty in them, look in the mirror and love the imperfection and you exactly the way you are. The more you love her or him exactly the way you are, the more everybody else will as well.
Wow. That's a nice takeaway. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Go ahead,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Coleman.
Where do you see Paula Patton 5 years from now? Do you see the 2025 Paula Patton more on a directing movies and documentaries level, along with acting? Do you see that side more prevalent a couple of years down the road? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Well, first I'd say it's really really important to stay in the present moment and just feel good about what's happening right now in your life. But that, yes, as I look forward to producing more material for other actors as well, not just myself, and creating works of art from that point of view. And I don't know. I'd like to direct. I think it's very possible that I would do that in the future, and just continue to be a mother to my son. You know, he
Yeah,
comes first.
yeah. My last two questions.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about Traffic with Omar Epps?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was great. I love making that movie. Omar is such a kind, just gentle spirit, such a talented actor. I mean, we just had a great time together. And that movie was the kind of movies that I love to make, where, you know, it's entertaining, but it also enlightens one, you know, that it helps open your mind and hopefully your heart. I think that great art is something that not only entertains, but brings knowledge to people about something that they maybe otherwise would not have had, you know, and that leaves you thinking, if you can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Coleman. I know you were trying to get in there for a question.
We may have the CEO of our wonderful school on the call, Dr. Vicky Stokes.
Yes, she is on the call, and yes, there she go. There she go.
Hi.
Yeah, hi, I am multitasking here, so please forgive me, wrapping up several meetings. I just want to say thank you for being a part of our lives. We have watched you in every single movie. I cannot watch Baggage Claim and Jumping the Broom and Idlewild enough times. I watched probably 100 times a piece, if probably more. Whenever I want to be happy or feel a sense of, you know, especially amidst all these crazy times, Baggage Claim came on recently, and I was so happy to see you. And so to have you here with us, I am just floored and so grateful to have your presence and your light just shine through and meet with us during this time. We so appreciate you and your journey and your attitude. You're just graceful and gracious and beautiful light that you just exude is just amazing and so needed. And we thank you so very much. I love you. We love you.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, you guys. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And one final question for me. Can you give our young people that's on this call, or, you know, that will see the call later, maybe two must-have going into this industry, two things that you just must have?
Oh gosh, two must-haves. Faith and endurance. You know, endurance to run the race. Be patient. Just be and enjoy that journey. Enjoy it. Like, don't be trying to get to the destination and like, I gotta have that. No, just like, because then you're gonna miss all the gems along the way. Just be ready to like, just relax. Relax and have faith and enjoy.
You know I'm asking that question for my son. because he wanted so bad.
Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. It will be there for you.
Yeah.
I'm telling him
And,
that, like,
and all that
enjoy.
knowledge that you're gonna get in college, it's going, cause see, you think you're gonna need all of that. Everything you learn, all the things that you learn in your social studies, or that's high school, I know, but you know what I mean, whatever, but all that knowledge you're going to take with you. That's what helps you develop a full human. That's why I think it's important to have a lot of other interests and activities besides acting. You know, don't just hang out with other actors. Like, hang out with people that do other jobs, because you're going to be portraying those jobs, right? That one of the greatest things that I got to do was make documentaries before I started acting, and be able to see how real people act in situations, real time, was really a great gift to me, you know? And so I'd really recommend also watching live documentaries, really, because you'll see how human beings truly act. And it's take the pictures in your mind, pictures, you know, all of that feels the soul. You have to think about and even if you take a whole year to go off and travel and do some other job, I promise you that work is going to be infused in you, and you're going to be that much more of a full actor. They want those people to come and audition, somebody who's done something else and lived other lives and tried other things. You know what I mean? Don't be just so focused on just trying to become an actor, because you are portraying humanity. So you want to live a full life.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I just want you to know, one of the teachers on the call, Miss Castro, she echoes what you're saying, because she put it in the chat room. It's always good to have a variety of people in your network. It also makes life more interesting. So everything you're saying, Miss Castro agrees with you.
Amen, Miss Castro.
Okay, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah. So I just had one last question. As far as Hollywood right now, once Hollywood returns to filming again and everything, where do you see Hollywood and just abroad international filming? Where do you see that over the next year or so? Do you, for young actors and young actresses, do you see more, say, virtual cast calls or more virtual audition calls? Where do you see that aspect with the COVID-19, current and post? Where do you see Hollywood and international?
That's interesting. I mean, in some ways, there is something good in that you could, because it'd be great to be able to have be in the international business as well, outside of Hollywood, which is the other countries, to be able to do those virtual auditions, which I'm sure will be more frequent, because this ability that we are having right now, without having to travel to Chicago, but me be with you guys is amazing. I think that this is going to happen more often. It's hard for me to say and predict what will come. But I miss human interaction. So I really hope we'll get back to that pretty soon as well. Yeah. I like to hug people and share, but this is wonderful for the time being. So, I mean, it's hard to say. I wouldn't know. I don't know how it's going to all shake up, but I think I just can't help but think that things are going to get better in every way for all of us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And Ms. Diaz said it too. This is a person who is full of joy and genuine love. It is displayed all on her face. It's just all on your face, Paula, that you just carry this really pleasant, genuine face. So thank you so much for joining us. And Mr. Coleman, we just look forward to Ms. Patton coming back to see us again.
Yeah, please. And
thank you guys. Yes.
And in tribute to you, being such a huge inspiration to our future leaders of tomorrow, on behalf of the school and Scjr Educational Initiative, we have our honorary Chicago High School Honorary Teacher for the Day Award ready to send your way.
Thank you. I'll show my mom and my son. I'll be like, see?
So we're gonna mail this off as early as tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you can have that. And Dr. Muhammad, who's also on our staff, she's our strategist and compliance person. She said, you are beautiful inside and out.
Oh,
Thank you so much for joining us on today.
Oh, thank you. This was a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
There she is waving at you.
You guys have a wonderful day. I send you love and best wishes with everything. And I will see you again.
Absolutely. Yes, and we hope and we hope you'll come to Chicago soon.
I would love to. And then you got to take me to all the restaurants.
We promise to do that.
Yeah.
We promise to do that. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining us on today, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Paula.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Everybody. I don't know how to, I'm not going to hang up the phone. I'll wait for everybody else to hang up.
Phyllis, let us see your face, Phyllis. Phyllis, let us see your face.
Yeah. You need to see my face.
Yes, let us see your face.
Hi,
My
Paula.
Paula.
How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I enjoyed the interview that they had with you today. That was awesome.
Oh, good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Can you unmute yourself? Can we see your
Have a
face?
wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. Sage, can you unmute yourself, Sage?
Hi guys, I'm sorry I've been multitasking.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Thank you for coming and speaking with us today and sharing all of your very helpful insight.
Oh, thank you. I wish you all the best of luck. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Where's Kalia? Where's Kalia? Where's
Have a wonderful
Kalia?
weekend. Beautiful.
I know, they're right here. I was gonna ask.
You're also beautiful.
They're like running.
Gorgeous ladies.
They're running. I wanted to ask Miss Paula, do you mind if I record you wishing my girls a happy graduation? They graduate next week. I have a senior and I have an 8th grader. My senior, her name is Kalia and Samaya.
Samaya. Okay. Kalia.
Yep, the youngest. Let me get my camera ready.
All right.
I'm gonna be so popular. Okay. All right, I'm ready, Miss Paula.
Congratulations, Kalia and Samaya. Have a wonderful summer. Enjoy all of your hard work.
Woo, thank you.
Thank you so much. You're so pleasant. And I'm serious, when you come to Chicago, we're taking you to eat. We're taking you to get some good pizza.
I'll
Yes.
I would love that. All right,
Okay.
you guys, you're all wonderful. So thank you very much. You have a wonderful day, okay?
Okay, you too.
Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm going to hang up.
Okay.
Okay, we all hang
Okay?
up.
All right, you
We all
guys.
hang
Bye, everybody.